Today on the workbench I have something that's I've been kind of working on and off on this for well, I don't know how long. It's an Athearn MP15AC, and it was an undecorated model, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with it? So I like the Southern Railway, so I thought, why not? I'll make one of these and put some Southern decals on it and put some sound in it. And you can see I've already kind of got it started. It's going to have LED lights in it. Got 402s in each end of it, and actually the lights are still drying. I've got them set in micro crystal clear, and you can see how I've done that process in another video. But we're going to take this model, and I know I've already done, I just did the CSX MP15, but I had this one laying around for so long, I wanted to get it done and get it out of my way, just so I could move on. But so I've got this painted up in a Southern scheme, or a semi-quasi Southern scheme, just something simple. So I've got all the hand railings and everything painted, ready to go on it, and you'll see that later on. But in this model, we're gonna do it like we did the last one. We're gonna put a Decoder Buddy in it. So I'm gonna get this out of the way, since how it's still in the drying process for the LEDs. So I've got this. We've got a Decoder Buddy. This is the this is the first version of the Decoder Buddy. It only has 8 lighting functions on it, and I'm only going to use 2, just forward and reverse. Nothing major. This is going to be plain and simple. The other thing I've got, the last one I did, I put a Scale Sound Systems speaker in it. This one is a stock Athearn Genesis speaker, so we'll get that put in. I'm going to use a V5, Loc Sound V5 decoder in this that I've had for a while, just laying around. And then I've got a TCS Keep Alive, TCS KA2 Keep Alive, that I'm going to put in it like we did the last one. Now you'll see when we get to it, this one doesn't have the interior that the last one had, because this was a project that I picked up that somebody had tried to paint. For some reason they cut the interior out of the thing and made a mess of it, and so I picked this thing up for next to nothing, and just trying to rebuild something that somebody made a mess. But anyway, we'll put the KA2 in there, and I think we'll have a pretty decent running locomotive. I did run this thing with the stock board on it, and it does run pretty well. You can see I've painted the trucks and painted the frame. So, but anyway, we'll get the Decoder Buddy in it, and then we'll be ready for lights once that dries. So here we go. The first thing I guess I'm gonna have to do is I need to add some wiring to the pickups for this thing. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this front speaker back out. And then I'm gonna pull this rear weight off. out of the way. The motor's already fastened in. Pry the caps loose on this off the gear towers. And get that up out of the way. So there's one, and there's our other set. Now the way these get their power is, let me pull these side frames off, and you can see I've got a little paint inside here. I'm gonna have to clean some of that up. But from the factory, these came with the clips that wire on, and we'll solder us a wire onto that. So we got to get rid of that. And get rid of this cap. I don't like those caps anyway. And then same thing over here. That one's missing a cap. And at least the paint comes off of them really easy. I forgot to put the cap back on that one when I painted this thing. But so there, we've got that one. I've got the soldering gun all fired up. Now I need to get me some black wire. So I've got some black wire here. We'll pull us a good amount off. Kind of use the frame here as a little guide. And I'm just going to make all this black just so it'll kind of blend in. Of course, I'm going to have this up here. Okay. So if I have a few pieces about 3 inches long, that'll be a good starting point. See, that's the great thing about these Decoder Buddies, or one of the great things about the Decoder Buddies. I say one because there are many things that are good about them. I can take and I can get the frame ready and have the board wired up and everything ready to go, and all I got to do is put in the 21 pin decoder, and then after I get the lights wired up to the extra board on it, the 10 pin board, just put it right together and easy peasy. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got wire to 10. I'll strip all these, and this silicone wire, and I think I say this in every video, is easy to strip with your fingernails. So that's that. I'll get out we'll use my paste flux again. I didn't seem to make as big a mess with the paste flux as I do with some of the other, but so we'll get some flux on these. I'm going to do them all at one time. just because. And then before we put these back together, we'll go ahead and clean up the inside where the axle sits in there. So now I can get my solder out, clean that tip off a little bit. I'll go ahead and tin that. And I should have done this. We'll dip each one of those in the flux, and so that's that one. A little more solder on there. That one tinned up. That one tinned. And this last one tinned. So there's that. Clean that tip off again. Now take and get me a tin these up. So there's one. There's two. There's three. Put a little more solder here. And four. So now go back through with our wire. One. Two. I need 3 hands. That didn't take. Well, the first two did rather easily. So let's get this thing. There we go. For some reason, I've got my temperature set a little lower than I normally do, so I think that's part of my issue. Okay. So there's that. Now I need to clean those out. And trying to think, probably find just a small drill bit and go through, touch those. That drill bit's too big. Alright, so I've got me a drill bit here. This is a 58 thousandths. We'll just take and kind of ream that out just a little bit. I don't want to do too much. Just trying to clean the inside of those. Get the paint off of them. We'll run some alcohol here in a second. Do this first one again. I'll also take and probably put some graphite in those. A little better electrical pickup that way. That'll get everything out of it. We'll have good conductivity. Okay. Now, get out some little micro brushes here, or a micro brush. And we can clean those out. Nice and shiny. After I take the tip off of those, I save them so I can dip them into flux or the liquid crystal clear, anything. Many uses for the little micro brushes. pretty much gone. Bottle that up. So I believe we're good with that. So now those are ready to be put back together. But I want to get some. This is powdered graphite. And do this with a pencil too. And that'll just give us a good coating in there. Doesn't take very much. Unless you just like to spill it like I do. Okay, let me put the caps back on this. Definitely don't need to spill that stuff all over the place. Now I'll have black fingers for a little while, but we'll get that out. That together. That together. Yeah, this project has been a long time in the making. I've actually got another MP15 to put together. It's a Union Pacific one, and it'll get the same treatment as the last two. Well, it'll get the same treatment as the first one, because I am going to get another Scale Sound Systems speaker and put in it. I'm not sure how this stock speaker will do. I actually had to buy it off of eBay. Let's see. If I take... Yeah, I put those on the wrong ones. Well, I didn't put them on the wrong ones. I put them around backward. I want that electrical pickup back here toward the gear tower. Which you probably just saw was hard to get together. We'll pull that one off. Put that together. There we go. That's better. And we'll get this same thing back here. So we've got that. Kind of separate that out a little bit. There's that. Snap our cap in. Alright, so we've got our motor wired, got our pickups. This is the front up here. I'm going to mark that just so it won't be confusing in the video. Alright, now we're going to mount our board, which I'm going to turn that around. Doesn't matter which way you put it. Get paranoid with that graphite on my fingers and I go to scratch my ear or something. I'm afraid I'm going to have graphite all over me. Put my drill bit away. Alright, so now I'm going to do like I did in the last one. I'm going to peel that. We'll peel this sticker off. And then I'll clean that up with some alcohol. Give the double-sided tape something to really bite to. I'll put that knife away. More Q-tips. And this will get all the residue off. There we go. Clean as a whistle. We'll clean the back of the Decoder Buddy off. We'll dry that. I just realized this back gear tower, I didn't put the gear in it. I just put the clip on it. Guess we don't need that back one. Better to find it now. Okay, so there's that. And like I say, I bought this speaker off of eBay for this locomotive because this is kind of a low budget locomotive here. Other than the decoder itself. Let me leave that off. I'm going to get this wired up first. I'm going to run that back through there. That way it won't be touching the motor. And I just learned this from this little thing from DCC Train, so I'm going to try it. We'll take some CA glue, and I'm going to glue this wire to that plastic on that motor. And of course I took an Yep. His method worked better than mine. Of course, I'm using a different kind of CA. There. That worked. I'd never done that before. Saw him do that here last week. So, thanks for the tip, AK. That'll keep that wire just above that out of the way. Won't have to worry about it touching the flywheel, nothing. So now we're going to go ahead and mount this board. And I am going to put that toward the back. Actually, I'm going to put that toward the front. Since our motor wires are right there. Get out a piece of double-sided tape here. Little pair of shears there. I'll cut that down. Be able to use those pieces somewhere else at some point. So there's that. Let's see if I can get my tape. There we go. The corner of it broken loose. That. There's our Decoder Buddy in. Nice and solid. This is our lighting board, our 10-pin functions, or 10 lighting functions. I got to cut little some wire for that. I'll probably just use black. No need to complicate everything. So now I can go ahead and start our connections for our pickups. And these are simple. We've got track pickups on each end. Let me pull this off. So we've got track pickups on each end. You can see that T, and then we've got speakers on both ends. So TSST, so track and speaker. And then our motor hookups right there. And that was some permanent magic marker that I had on there, but came right off. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna cut those. Cut about 1.5 inches off of them, looks like. I'll just use that to make them all the same size. Too much flux on the end of that. So we'll put some flux on that, on the speaker ones too, because we'll be doing them here before long. So that's that. And I'm got my big old fingers in the way, but I'm holding wires and I'm stripping those. So we'll put some flux on there. I'm going to try something. Let me get these tinned. Clean the tip off of that. Go ahead and tin these up while we're here. Okay. So we've got the wires tinned up. All right. But what I'm looking at is when you put these wires under here, and I want to clean that flux off before I solder those wires down. It's just easier to do while nothing is on it. Okay, so that's that. when I put this speaker on, those wires are going to run up underneath the speaker, and I want to keep them away. Actually, I can use this case for that. Run my wires right up through and out that little port there. So let me go ahead and pull this off. I'm not even sure if this speaker works. I never tried it when I bought it. Yeah, if it doesn't work, I'll just wait till I can get another Scale Sounds one. Actually, I may have another one this size. Looks fine. Can run these right up through. Run them, yeah, that'll work. So that will give us plenty of wire. We won't have to worry about anything hitting. All right. As long as I get them on the right side, we'll be fine. So now, where'd I go? We'll zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, that'll work out good. Those come right up through. I've got plenty. I can solder that right on. Oh, I want to get it in the right place, so. So we've got one there. Let me get this side. And I know those look crossed, but they cross there, but they cross back over there, so they're on the right sides. But anyway, there is our track connections, or there are our track connections. Screw this thing down. Of course, you can see that isn't sealed. So I'm going to try this thing without sealing it. See what kind of sound we can get out of that. Get the last screw in this thing, and then we'll wire our speaker in. So there's that. Actually, I can use those two little pieces of wire for speaker mount. So I'll move up here to this side. I've already got that fluxed. Go ahead and strip this. Okay. can get these two connections done, and there I get flux all over my finger, but I'll get these on. That's that. Clean that a little bit. There's that. A pair of tweezers is really handy. I don't think, yeah, I don't like that one. Got that too much of an angle. So there are our track connections. That cleaned off. Now I just gotta do the motor, and I want to see which way's forward, because yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I believe that should go that way, and that one should go there. Now make sure that's not touching anything, because I'm going to put the decoder on there. Make sure that I'm going the right way, and then we can solder everything up after that. So I'll be back here in a second. Okay, so I've got that. I checked it. I'm going to run this long hood forward. Actually, no, I'm going to run a cab forward, so I've got it hooked up right for cab forward. So my red will go there, and then that'll be my black. So let's go ahead and we'll get this I'm going to cut these wires a little bit, I think. Because I really don't need all of that, so let's cut that off about there. This one I may leave a little long, but for right now I need to strip that. I hardly get my fingers in there, so I'm going to take and run. run that up and fold it over. I may have to hold it down while I am soldering that. Maybe not. Okay, there's that one, and then cut this off. Still got to hook the speaker up. So I could strip this wire with my fingernails, and I should have left that just a touch longer. There we go. Now, but you cut that in there nice and short. Get that all set in there, and it looks excellent, I think. You don't have a jumble of wires, or, as I like to say, a rat's nest. So, all right. So we've got everything all hooked up. It's just oh, I got to do the speaker. Okay, now what we've got left is our speaker, which is up here. So I've got my wire that I'm gonna strip and tin. Basically, I'm just dipping that in the flux. Over here and get some solder that. And I need to clean that. There's that one. We'll get another one here. It's close to the same size. We've got that. Get them soldered onto the speaker. Now don't worry about positive and negative. Don't have to. that off about there. Cut that off there. Like I say, sometimes get that wire in there, get a little shorter. But you don't have to worry about putting it anywhere. At the end of the day, it just lays right there. And I know everything is the same color, but I guess that's another advantage of the Decoder Buddy. I don't have to worry about what the colors are. Let me do this one that's, where I try to solder them. I better put some flux on it, or better tin it, I mean. There's that one. Get that one tinned up. All right. So now we are ready for a test, because we should have sound now. We got our track pickups on. So make sure everything moves free. Here's our decoder. We'll get that in there. I'll have everything but lights right now, so I'll be back. Alright, we're back. My micro crystal clear has set up in the lights, and I went ahead, and this model didn't have any windows in it, so I have this kit of windows that's a laser cut kit from American Model Builders. I'm not even sure if they're in business anymore. The instructions on this say they're from '93. But I went ahead and started putting the windows in. I got most of them. This one here in the corner, well, I dropped it. So it's somewhere here on the bench or in another galaxy someplace. Same with this one back here. Well, actually, this bottom window didn't even come in the kit. It was missing. This was a brand new kit. It was missing off of the board. And I've got this bottom one, but I haven't put it in yet. But anyway, I've got the side windows in. Got those side windows in, and they are a precision fit window. They go on before. They go on, you don't even have to take the cab off. But anyway, we're not here to worry about windows. What we're here to worry about is these lights. So, what I want to do, I am going to take, and I've done this a couple ways just for wire management to hold these down. You can take and put Kapton tape down to hold them in. You can put heat shrink down and run your wires through the heat shrink, glue it in, and I've got some pieces of heat shrink right here cut. Maybe I'll do that. But you just want to have them in there neat. And what I want to do too is, I don't know, that's going to sit like that. This will be back here. I can cut these off. I'm going to cut probably, let me slide this over. I think I'm going to cut off something like 4 inches of wire here. That way I can strip this and we won't have to worry about all the wiring. But so that'll be that. I'll go through and strip these and get them put together. This is the tedious part of this job, because this wire is tiny, and if you don't have the right set of strippers, you'll end up cutting your wire all the time. These are a pair of strippers. They're for data cable. But I want to leave that nice and long, that way I can twist those together, and then I'll solder them together, and then I'll solder them to the board. So there's one. Let me get this other pair. So we'll get that soldered together, and yeah, that kit of windows, it's a really nice kit. I do hope they're still in business, because I want to get some more of them to replace the ones that I lost, or the couple that I lost. And anyway, so there's that. I don't need the model out here in the way right now, for the chassis. Tin my soldering iron up. So there's that set. There's that set. Now I'll go over here and do this set, and I may end up, I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches off of this one. The less wire you have in this, the better off you'll be. Because neatness counts. That way you can get everything back up into the shell. There's one. 2. Three, and the final one. So we'll get these together. So there's those two. Put this one together. Okay. Get some flux on these. That. And those came apart. Now I'll fix that in a second. Let that cool. A little more. Touch more solder there. So there's that one. That'll be good enough to get that in that board. So now I am going to take and run that through a piece of heat shrink on both sides. And then we can glue that down. So we'll get that. There's a piece for that side. Now, to put that in with, or lock it down, I guess you'd say. I am going to use some goop, the E6000. Kind of remains flexible, and I have good luck with it. We'll just put some of that in there, and I'll get some for the other side. Okay. So we've got that down. Let's get our tweezers. And I've got some extra cable up there in the cab. I'm going to put a dot on that after I get the board soldered on. So now what I've done here, and I'll show you this, I have this Decoder Buddy here. This is one that I burn up, but I use it to hold the lighting board. So go ahead and pull that off. See, we've got this thing running short hood forward, so that's going to set right there like that. Of course, that direction doesn't matter on that. That board's clocked one way. But anyway, this pad right, I want to zoom in here what I can. This is the 10-pin board on this decoder, on the Decoder Buddy, and I'm just going to flux it up here. The pads on the two ends are for your common wire. Most usually that is the blue wire. And then the other two pads we'll be using for our front and rear light are these up here on this corner. So we've got all that fluxed in. I'll pull the shell back over. Oop. Looks like my goop kind of gave up the ghost there. But anyway, this just gives me a place to hold this, so I don't have to have four hands. But now what I'm running into is that wire is just a touch, well, it's not short, but I need something to hold. The model at the same level. So let's see, that's not going to work. Let me take this one out. There we go. So there you can still see what I'm trying to accomplish here. this wire is going to be our forward light. Actually, so this one's marked for our forward, but it's really going to depend, and I guess I shouldn't say forward and reverse. Since the long hood, they're bidirectional, let's say that. Maybe that'd be a better way to go with this. These should be bidirectional. They really don't need to be labeled as forward and reverse, I don't think. But, anywho. We'll put this in here. And I mean, if it's wrong, I can change it with CVs. That's no big deal. So okay. Yeah, we're off in the corner here, but I think you can still see what I'm doing. So there's that one. Then we'll have this one we can put in. This is our common wire, and it keeps springing back out on me. So there's that. Solder on the tip of that, so I'm gonna have to hold this one. Yeah, you can still see what I'm doing there. So that's that one. And I'm going to move this up here to this side. And everything I've put in there I'll take and trim off here in just a minute. try and grab that. There we go. All right, so that's all soldered in there. Now I'll pull that off, move that. I'm going to trim my long leads off. And I want to get that piece out of there that I dropped. There we go. Just so that doesn't short out the board. So now we're ready to plug this thing in and be all set. I haven't programmed the decoder yet. Let's see. Nope. So we'll plug that in. And I've got it all twisted around. Took our wires up in there. And there we go. Let me see if I can reach in this window with this. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. My keep alive. We'll have to do something better with the keep alive. And actually, I'm going to change that keep alive out anyway. It doesn't like this ESU decoder. I forgot that when I first started. ESU has its own stay alive, keep alive, current keeper, whatever you want to call it. Theirs is 3-wire. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take this thing off, since this is a TCS keep alive. We'll get rid of that puppy. Save that for a TCS model. But for right now, help if I put it on the right way. So our wires just slide neatly in. That works well. Now I'm going to test this thing out and see what we got, or see what we have. So here is basically our completed model, other than minus handrails and the keep alive now. But yeah, I'll end up getting an ESU to stay alive. But right now I want to test this thing out, so I'll be back. Alright, we're about to finish this install up. We've got everything wired up, and if you remember when I first started this, I hooked up a TCS Keep Alive to this, and I'd forgot that you can't use a TCS Keep Alive with an ESU board. So I've got the ESU power pack here, and to hook this up to our Decoder Buddy, we're going to go ahead and pull the decoder off. And I do have that with the sound in it, and we're going to mount this back here on this gear tower. So I might as well do that before I start anything. Not sure. Let's see. Get out a pair of shears. Cut me off a piece of double-sided tape. That'll fit that. And we'll just stick that right to the top of the gear tower, and that won't affect anything. So I'll grab the corner of this. That, and that you'll be able to see that from inside, but not very much of it. So we've got that. Then the ESU power packs come with 3 wires, and you can well, I don't know how to explain it here. You can set your, I guess, the amount of time you want this thing to run. Let's see. Yeah, you can use your different CVs to set up different things on it. But basically, you'll have your positive and your ground, and then this white wire will go back to one of the pins back here. That way you can turn this thing on and off, basically. I guess that's the simple way to say it. You can turn it on and off. And we're going to be using pin 1 on the Decoder Buddy, and I'll zoom in on this when I go. You can either use pin 1 or pin 6. And pin 1, you can look on the Decoder Buddy website, nixtrains.com, and you can find your pin 1 and your pin 6. He's got diagrams on there set up real nice. So basically, this up here in the corner, let's see what I can zoom in on. Oop. This pin in the corner up here, that's pin 1, or you can count down, you can count to pin 6. So let's go ahead and we'll strip this off. Our red is our positive, black is the ground. So that'll go there, and then the white one will go to, I'll put it on pin 1. So I want to shorten this up just a little bit. to eliminate some wire. So we'll cut that off, cut that one off to the same length, and then see if I can strip this off. Yep, with my fingernail. So we'll get those two, get some flux out here. There's that one. There's that one. Now we'll tin those up. And I'm zoomed in kind of tight there. So basically you're not seeing me flux these and tin them. That's alright. So now we'll start with our ground. And we'll move to our positive. Sometimes it takes two hands. So there's that. And we'll route that kind of around. Put it up on top there. And then we'll go for this one. Get it cut off. And I did go through and put the handrails and everything on this. Of course, I didn't figure you wanted to see that. So clean that off. Alright, now I'm going to try and get around here the best I can to where I can hold this. Put a little flux on that. On that pin. Flux there. So now this is going to be the tricky part. Would help if I had about 4 hands. But I am going to take, pull that away. You can see this pin 1 better. I'm going to put a little dab of solder on that. And then try and get all right. There's pin 1. So basically we are done with this install. go ahead and put my decoder back on, and I will try this out before I stick the body and everything back on it. Kind of hitting the wire there. Alright, got that back on, back together. Now I'm going to try this, and then I'll bring you back. And I'll bring you back with a different view, because I'll put the body back on, and we'll be good to go. So, we'll be back. Alright, we're back here, and I've got you set up here. We're going to do a little test on this thing. As you can see, I've got the handrails on it. I've got the glass in. So let's go ahead and we'll fire this thing up. And this is using the stock speaker. It doesn't sound too bad. So we'll go ahead and we'll start ramping that up. It does have a lot of momentum built into it. We'll turn our headlight on. So I'm going to take and spin this around so you can see the headlight. So they are nice and bright there. And I should have taken before pictures of this thing, because this is 1,000% improvement over what it looked like when I got it. Let's see. I'm going to dim that headlight just a little bit. That way it doesn't need to do that again. Right now I've got it going in the forward direction. Speed that up just a little bit. Let's see. Turn the air compressor on. That's our short air let off. So there's no ditch lights, anything like that on this. I didn't put them on. We'll take and spin it around, and then we'll look at the front end. Or actually, I guess you can call it the back end, because I have it long hood. Long hood is reverse. So, ramp that down. Hear the brake squeal. We'll change our direction, and I believe that our lights are still, yep, the lights are still dim. Let me dim them again. And then we'll start to ramp that up. And I'll lock in the drive hold. Start ramping that up. There's notch 8. Start ramping that back down. is our finished product. I think it came out rather nice. So, a Southern MP15AC. Yeah. So we'll call this a successful project, and thanks for watching.